It's Jason Walker here with Rashaan Mbemba next to me, and then Kyle Jorgensen. Colorado State players, I know a lot of newcomers, though you guys aren't the newcomers. So you guys coming back, just what's it like where you got new head coach, granted, even in that vein, non-new because he's an assistant last year. Just what's this transition been like for you guys this offseason? We'll start with you, Rashaan.
I think the transition been pretty smooth. I think we brought in like 6-7 new guys out of the transfer portal, and I think from the get-go, kind of basically, you saw it was a very competitive group, a very hard-working, ethic group. Like we saw it in this first week. We don't really practice. We just played a little bit, get to know each other, got to know the coaches. I think there was like just a sense of competitiveness right away. Like people wanted to get better. People wanted to like play the right way and play winning basketball. And I think the transition was smooth. Like he's been a phenomenal head coach for the past months. Also like coaching staff wise, great coaching and also like I think I can speak for everybody. If you come to practice, you're looking forward to practice. You know you're going hard and you're going to practice, you're getting better, but it's also a lot of fun, competitive, people cracking jokes, all that, while still being serious when it comes to like serious matters. I think that's just like a great thing to have.
Yeah. So Kyle, I'll ask you, I think you guys were picked, I think it was 7th, tied for 7th, or thereabouts. I've already forgotten some. Yeah, it's tied for 7th with Nevada, and usually there's almost a formula to these preseason polls. If you're lower down, it's because you don't have a lot of players, maybe you haven't had as much. And if you're in the middle, it's like you're a good program, but they don't know much about you. And if people know a lot about you and they're confident, they pick you at the top. It's just basically this formula. So you guys are in the middle. People don't know as much about your team. You got a new coach and all that. What are the things that you guys feel like you'll be able to show all these people who have some preseason doubts about how good you're going to be? What do you want to show those people?
Well, first of all, I want to say that I think last year we were picked maybe 6th or maybe 7th too. I don't really remember around the similar range. So I think that we just want to prove that we can hang with these guys, man. There's a lot of competition in the Mountain West, obviously, a lot of great teams, and we just want to show that we can compete at a high level with these guys too.
Yeah. Rashaan, I had a question talking about you being an undersized forward. Now, I don't know if being 6'7", 240 pounds makes you undersized, but some of the guys you're going up against are 6'9", 6'10", 7 foot. But what are the keys for you when you're, going down against everyone in the paint? What are the keys for you to be successful? Because you showed a lot of that last year.
I'll definitely lie. When people see me on the stat sheet being 6'7", it's like people don't really see me like I'm basically small compared like a 7'2", 7. I remember back then Ryan Cockburn, huge guy,
Yeah.
But for me, it was just always I like to compete. I like to play very physical. So I never height is basically just height. I can't really change it, but I know what I can change is how physical I play, and also just I might not be as tall, but I can use my quickness. I can use my agility, and I think I can just make it up. I'm heavier too. It's not like I'm a lightweight, so I can move people around. And that's basically it. I think I always try to not really compare too much about sizes because at the end of the day, if I box someone out at 7'1", he still won't get the ball, But that just shows how much effort I'm finna put in and how physical I want to be added. So, yeah.
So, Kyle, looking at this upcoming season, what are the biggest things you want to be able to show? I guess what are the areas of growth you've seen from yourself heading into a season where you're going to be taking on a bigger role?
I just want to show off my confidence. I've worked really hard this offseason to change my body and progress as a player on and off the court. Last year that's something I struggled with as a freshman. I kind of got thrown into the fire a little bit early. He was out. He was out for the first couple games. I even started in big games against Washington and TCU. So, and then sometimes that's tough. I've never really gone through something like that, as a player, confidence struggle. So, I just want to show Ali talks about it a lot, just being confident in your work. I know I worked really hard this offseason to try and get better, and, I want to just be confident in my work.
And it's just, what are the biggest things you learned from? Maybe it was confidence. Maybe you already answered this, but as a freshman, what are those biggest things you learn when you're kind of thrown into the fire, where you don't know anything about college basketball yet, and suddenly you're starting against some pretty big teams? What are those things you learn?
Just the little things, like little details, like knowing other people's plays and knowing other people's scouts, and just little stuff like that. The physicality. I wouldn't say I was undersized, but I wasn't in the right shape that I wanted to be in last year. So playing with a certain physicality and being able to play for longer periods of time and being in better cardiovascular shape, I think that was huge for me, and that's something I struggled with last year. It was hard to keep me on the court for long periods of time just because I run out of gas. So being able to put more gas in the tank, I think is going to be more important for me this year.
So Colorado State has had probably two of the best, although sometimes underrated. I mean, you had Nate Clifford, Isaiah Stevens. Now, neither of them won Mountain West Player of the Year, which feels like a bit of a crime with how good those players are. But now it's a new era. Is there any pressure for either of you guys to kind of step in? Obviously not the same type of player as those two guys, but pressure for you guys or one of the other players to step in and take that role where you've had so many good players?
I don't feel really pressured by doing that. I just think I put in time, I put in the work. I've been there the last 2 years, and the coaches see me leading the team. The coaches see us two really stepping out and making people accountable and stuff. Trying to getting into the leader role. It's not about pressure being the best player or all that, but it's definitely our urge of urgency to really we need a leader. We need to lead the team, and as you know, great teams is led by the players and not by the coaches. And I think that's what we as people who have been here last year and won it with guys like Jalen Lake, Nick Clifford. We're just trying to continue that and trying to tell the guys who came in that hey, we're gonna make ourselves accountable. I can't be mad at him because he calls me out on some bullshit I did. I gotta be take the criticism, try to make it better. And the way I'll do the same for him. There's no bad beef to it. There's no you're not pissed off or anything. You're generally just hey, he wants to make me better and I want to make you better. At the end of the day, we compete. We might curse each other out during the game when we play against each other. But at the end of the day, we dab each other up and we knew, hey, we got better today. And I think that's the goal.
And then, Kyle, this is the last question here for you guys. What's the biggest key for you guys? Went to the tournament last year. What do you guys got to do to get back there, especially with a bit of a new team?
I think something that we struggled with at the beginning of last year was just our connectiveness. I think the basketball part was always there, how much time we put in on the basketball court and all that stuff. But I think the things that really matter are the off-the-court connectiveness that brings that on-the-court togetherness to better. I think that's something that we struggled with at the beginning of last year and that we realized after our rocky start that, hey, we gotta fix this. So that's something we've really prioritized this offseason. We've done a ton of stuff together as a team, just building those relationships with those new guys. Just so kind of like you said, it's important to know these guys, so not only off the court, but so I can approach them on the court as their teammate, but also as their brother. So I think that's really important.
All right, thank you so much, Rashaan Mbemba, Kyle Jorgensen. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
All right.